Facebook wonders out loud if pedophiles should be allowed to ask children for sexual pictures. Christians are being caned for violating Sharia law. And what did you think of last night's first ever penis-free Oscars? My name's Howard Riell. This is Real Truth. You're listening to the American Freedom Network, streaming live around the world at AmericanNewsNet.com and on Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, in the book Real Truth, Stay Angry. And of course, as always, broadcasting out across the Colorado Front Range on KHNC, Johnstown, Colorado, 1360 AM The Lion. Our call-in number is 877-254-7524. My friends, welcome back. Item from the Wrap. Oscars host Jimmy Kimmel went all in on the Me Too movement in his opening monologue, saying if Hollywood can stop harassing women, quote, they will only have to deal with harassment all the time in every other place they go. Kimmel also pointed to a massive Oscar statuette on the stage and said it was Hollywood's perfect man. Quote, keep your hands where you can see them, never say a rude word, and most importantly, no penis at all. He is literally a statue of limitations, the host joked. My friends, if it's a joke, it's not a funny one. The left was in full force last night with their identity politics regime. Women, people of color, if you weren't one of those two groups, you were nowhere and nothing. Again and again and again, we got hammered over the head by it again and again throughout the show. Insults at Trump, of course, at Pence, Fox News, but really at you and me. They were really insulting you and me, and that may help explain why this morning the headlines are all about possibly the lowest ratings ever for an Oscar broadcast. Because Americans realize when we're being insulted. Now, we know that liberals are the real, honest-to-goodness racists. They're always calling for more awards for women and people of color. And so tell me, do they do that because they think that women and people of color can't win awards on their own merits? Do they need to be given them like participation trophies? If that's the case, and I believe it is, are liberals saying that women and people of color just aren't good enough to win them on their own, or aren't smart enough, they're somehow inferior, and so they need a kind of affirmative action? Is that what liberals are saying? Well, yeah, that's what liberals have always said.
Ladies, this is Danny Golden informing you that heart attacks in women can be different than heart attacks in men. Women having heart attacks will experience
no music to
nausea,
take me out of the
vomiting,
segment,
indigestion, shortness of breath,
like
or
they're
simply
supposed to
sudden
be.
extreme fatigue, but no chest pain.
Yeesh.
Get emergency medical help and call 911 immediately if you are experiencing any of these symptoms. Pain, pressure, burning or squeezing in the chest, jaw, shoulder, back, or arms that last more than 5 to 10 minutes. Unexplained shortness of breath lasting more than 5 to 10 minutes. Sudden severe nausea, vomiting, or indigestion. Sudden sweating for no reason. Sudden unexplained extreme fatigue. Loss of consciousness or fainting, or sudden unexplained panicky feeling of doom. The key, ladies, is to listen to your body. Follow your instincts, and if you experience symptoms that are disturbing to you in any way, or even remotely related to your heart, get yourself checked out right away. If your doctor brushes you off, that's a sign you need a new doctor, one who will actually do what is necessary to get to the bottom of your symptoms.
He was in the world, and the world was made through him, and the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God, to those who believe in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 10 through 13.
American Window Tinting Incorporated in Franktown reminds parents, keep an eye on your child while shopping. Children tend to stray or become lost. This poses an opportunity for a would-be abductor. Please make every effort to keep track of your little ones at all times. If you have information regarding a lost child, call local authorities at once. This message is from American Window Tinting Incorporated in Franktown. For residential or commercial window tinting, call 303-263-4228.
My friends, welcome back to Real Truth. I am Howard Riell. Unless everyone's been lying to me, I believe today is Monday, the start of a brand new week. I got lots of good stuff for you. For example, Pat Condell from over in England. We haven't heard from him for a while. Here he is weighing in, inveighing against criminal migrants, and God knows there are plenty of those.
This video is for all you third-world criminals who are flooding into Europe illegally by pretending to be refugees.
My friends, the only problem I have with Pat Condell is that he's too subtle, too nuanced. I don't really know how he feels about the subject. Item from Breitbart. The ratings for Sunday night's telecast of the 90th Annual Academy Awards collapsed by a whopping 16%, which would mean an all-time low according to early estimates. Variety reports that the 8 to 11 p.m. portion of ABC's telecast averaged an 18.9 household rating and 32 share. In Nielsen's metered market overnight ratings, that's down about 16% over the previous year. My friends, people don't like snipey, snarky liberals making fun of them. Maybe we should just cancel the Oscars for next year.
Rely on the sun to help make you self-reliant for your power needs. Solar energy can be scaled for any situation, from complete power independence to backup power for the short term. Our expertise focuses on sustainable power, but we have extensive experience with utility interactive systems as well. Catered capabilities of modern emergency lighting all the way to commercial scale power. Great Plains Power is a full-service company. We service everything we sell. We provide and design turnkey packages, custom design system, and parts for do-it-yourself. With more than 20 years of specialized experience at your disposal, let us know what your power concerns or goals are. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239-9963. 303-239-9963. Or go to GreatPlainsSolar.com. If you're taking 1, 2, 5, or more nutritional supplements, please stop. Simplify your supplementation with Bio Superfood, the most advanced nutritional whole food supplement you can buy. Women, children, even Olympic athletes the world over have discovered Bio Superfood from BioAge.com. And now take just one nutritional supplement instead of many. The Bio Superfood formulas are whole food products, composed with 4 of the most nutritive algae found on Earth. Bio Superfood for the brain helps with focus and with plenty of food. If you can increase brain health, the rest of the body is a no-brainer. Bio Superfood has 0 toxicity and is safe for you and your family. Learn more and order your Bio Superfood formulas at BioAge.com. Spell BioAge.com. BioAge.com. Or call 877-288-9116. 877-288-9116. BioAge. It's the best organic.
Now, my friends, let me talk slowly because I'm speaking to liberals out there, and you need to talk slowly. If you want to know why America is sick to death of you, and why you're losing elections, and why your TV broadcasts are losing ratings, it's because PC is the thing of knuckleheads. PC is on the way out, and if you don't believe me, that's fine. Here's Ben Shapiro.
There's a reason the leftism is failing. And it's not just because Hillary Clinton was the worst candidate in the history of American politics, though she was. And it's not just because Barack Obama was a terrible president, though he was. It's because something bigger is actually happening. The media don't see it. Hollywood doesn't see it. The universities don't see it. Here is the big secret to conservative success in 2016 and beyond. The era of political correctness is over. Yes. Political correctness is dying a slow, painful, bloody, agonizing death, and all I can say is, hell yeah. Political correctness has been a blight on American society for decades, tearing Americans apart one from another. Instead of unity through truth, the left has offered feelings. Feelings, love feelings. The nice, comforting illusion that if something is wrong with your life, it's actually somebody else's fault. And if you don't have facts to back that up, of course, if you can't point to evidence of discrimination or cruelty or malice, then we're supposed to believe you anyway. Because if we do anything else, that would be challenging your truth. And that's political correctness in a nutshell, right? My truth over the truth. But there's no such thing as my truth. There is just the truth. Okay? There is no your truth. There is just the truth. Americans, young Americans, we're sick and tired of postmodern garbage. And when we sacrifice the truth for subjective feelings, we are contributing to the downfall of the greatest nation and civilization in the history of mankind. The entire premise of democracy is that our backgrounds matter less than what we share, a commitment to our common humanity, an ability to think beyond our own personal biases, a willingness to put aside tribal loyalties and walk in somebody else's shoes. America is about reason. It always was. America was about the fundamental proposition that human beings are actually capable of rising above their station, of exercising their free will, of being free people. America was based on the idea that good ideas win in the end. A simple faith that if we share a commitment to the value of truth, then we might be able to come together to pursue it. But the left has fought for decades to destroy that faith. Political correctness, of course, is their tool. Now, that term is a term of Marxist orthodoxy. It was originally preached by mass murderer Mao Zedong and Soviet communist Leon Trotsky. Now, what originally PC meant was stifling attitudes that didn't forward the revolution. In practice, what that meant was censorship, banishment, the gulags, death, for people who didn't speak in politically correct ways. Just like a lot of other lefty phrases, by the way. Politically correct, it's like social justice. Social justice means not justice. Politically correct means not correct. When leftists in America picked up on the PC movement, they insisted that their goal actually wasn't to silence. It was instead to open up a new vista of viewpoints. Because here's the thing, America was so racist, so sexist, so bigoted, so homophobic, that alternative viewpoints couldn't be expressed in public. So the only way to allow marginalized members of different communities to speak was to shut everybody up who offended members of those groups. PC was actually supposed to make us free. That was the promise. But instead, of course, the intellectual jackboots showed up. Speaking facts that offended members of supposedly victimized subgroups became taboo. Basic truth went out the window in favor of leftist viewpoints. Victim groups replaced actual victims. Language shifted to accommodate the feelings of those victim groups so as not to reflect oppressive hierarchies. And for years, the PC culture grew stronger. By the time of the Obama presidency, PC wasn't just dominant, it had morphed into something almost unstoppable. Advocates of PC had once claimed rightly that certain groups in America were victimized, which is true. Of course, certain groups in America were victimized. And they used to present evidence to that effect. But under President Obama and over the 8 years he was president, the new PC, what's changed on our college campuses, the new PC said you didn't even need evidence of victimization to shut other people up. You just had to claim that you were victimized. And it was our job to give you the benefit of the doubt. And so a new form of PC was born, one that I'm sure all the college students in the room are familiar with. We're talking about the PC of white privilege, which is nonsense, and microaggressions, which is even worse nonsense, and trigger warnings, which is the worse nonsense than that, and safe space is the worst nonsense of all. The left said that all politics was about group identity. So if you're white and male, then your perspective is not your perspective as a human being, it's your perspective as a white male, the white male perspective. And if you're gay and black, then your perspective is not your perspective as an individual human, it's your perspective as a gay black person. Right? Now, according to the left, there's a hierarchy. So the white male perspective is the perspective of privilege, since the founding fathers were white and male. Never mind that the highest average household income in the United States exists among Asians. Right? But according to the left, if you are white and male and straight, you are automatically the beneficiary of privilege. And so you're simply barred from commenting on anything that matters politically, because obviously you have been one of the victimizers. You're the beneficiary of this terrible American system. And if you do comment, and if your comments hurt anybody's feelings, or even if they could have hurt somebody else's feelings, they didn't actually hurt anyone's feelings, but maybe they might have, that's a microaggression. It's not just you offended somebody, it's that you aggressed them. You did something that's violent to them, and they get to respond in kind. You violated that person's sovereignty. These microaggressions, of course, require trigger warnings, warnings that you might offend somebody. And only by abiding by these fascistic rules can we actually create the safe spaces, these pristine bubbles where no one disagrees with you and you get to hug your cuddly teddy bear and feel all warm and fuzzy inside. This PC culture took over the university system. It took over the mainstream media. PC culture meant that universities began to censor speakers, to ban them from campus if they offended members of supposed victim groups. That's why when I was invited by Young America's Foundation to speak at DePaul, the college banned me. They literally called out the sheriff of Cook County and threatened to arrest me if I set foot on campus. It was wild. It was like a 9-foot-tall dude. And I said, if I step right here, are you going to arrest me? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, well, no, I'm not going to step right there. They're actually doing the same thing now to my friend Steven Crowder. It's why universities have barred the public from my speeches at UCLA, UC Berkeley, University of Minnesota, and University of Connecticut. It's why Charles Murray was physically assaulted at Middlebury. It's why Brett Weinstein was thrown out of his job for having the temerity to be white and wanting to teach at Evergreen State College. By the way, Brett is like...
My friends, this business about having the temerity to be white, it was on full display last night at the Oscars. If you didn't watch it, you didn't miss anything.
Bernie Sanders supporter. It's why leftists have tried to shut down mainstream conservative thinkers. Guy Benjamin Brown and Katie Pavlik from University of Wisconsin and Kevin McDonald at Claremont. University's great, the Korean of PC, and they've been dying from it ever since. And then there are friends in the media. Now, I don't mean everyone in the media. Right? There are some good people in the media. But too many of the folks in the media who proclaim that they are objective truth tellers are actually just advocates of leftism. Masquerading as objective truth tellers. And these are the folks who have brought into PC culture maybe worse than even it is at the university level. These are the people who categorically refuse to use the term illegal immigrants to describe immigrants who cross the border illegally. These are the people who insist that a biological man is actually a woman if he says he is a woman. Hint, he is not. He is a dude. Objective facts don't disappear just because your subjective feelings wish they would. These are the people who scream religion of peace every time an Islamic terror attack rocks a major Western city, but scream Christian radicals every time a Christian couple refuses to bake a cake for a same-sex wedding. You want to know who the bigots are in America? It's these folks in the mainstream that are proclaiming their objectivity while they push their agenda. These are the people who suggest that you don't give a damn about children murdered in mass shootings unless you agree with their gun confiscation scheme. I have a quick note here. 5 years ago,
Well, that's absolutely correct. Now, we've got some commercial time coming up, so I'm going to stop it there. From the New York Post, Gary Oldman won Best Actor at the Academy Awards, but for some entertainment fans, the 59-year-old actor's win marks the darkest hour of the Me Too era. Social media... Okay, I get it. I'll stop. We'll pick it up when we come back. My friends, plenty of news. No shortage of news here on Real Truth. Stick around.
This is Danny Golden informing you that heart attacks in women are different than heart attacks in men. Women having heart attacks would experience nausea, vomiting, indigestion, shortness of breath, or simply sudden extreme fatigue, but never chest pain. Get emergency medical help and call 911 immediately if you're experiencing any of these symptoms: pain, pressure, burning, or squeezing in the chest, jaw, shoulders, back, or arms that last more than 5 to 10 minutes. Unexplained shortness of breath lasting more than 5 to 10 minutes. Sudden severe nausea, vomiting, or indigestion, sudden sweating for no reason, sudden unexplained extreme fatigue, loss of consciousness or fainting, or sudden unexplained panicky feeling of doom, accumulating its force into your body. Follow your symptoms. If you experience symptoms that are disturbing you in any way, or even remotely related to your heart, get yourself checked out right away. If your doctor brushes you off, that's a sign you need a new doctor, one who will actually do what is necessary to get to the bottom of your symptoms.
And of his fullness we have all received, and grace for grace. For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. No one has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 16.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution.
American Window Tinting Incorporated in Fragtown reminds parents, keep an eye on your child while shopping. Children tend to stray or become lost. This poses an opportunity for a would-be abductor. Please make every effort to keep track of your little ones at all times. If you have information regarding a lost child, call local authorities at once. This message is from American Window Tinting Incorporated in Fragtown. For residential or commercial window tinting, call 303-263-4228.
All right, my friends, welcome back to Real Truth. Michelle Malkin recently weighed in on some of the issues we're facing here in America. Let us listen.
There's so much work to be done outside.
And how's it going here? Politicians continue to sell us out, and if not for Trump, we would already be over the cliff. Item from The Guardian. Facebook has admitted it was a, quote, mistake to ask users whether pedophiles requesting sexual pictures from children should be allowed on its website. My friends, I kid you not. That's really what they did. They wanted public opinion. Should pedophiles be able to ask children for sexual photos? I'm not kidding. I wouldn't kid about something like that. If I were you, I'd get in touch with Facebook and tell them to drop dead. We'll be back.
Trading Group is a different kind of gold and silver company, cleaning up the industry for 21 years. Are you tired of the high-pressure sales tactics, the constant phone calls? Are you done with the bait and switch? You just want to be treated fairly with honesty and respect? That's exactly what you get when you call 800-951-0592. You have my word on it. I'm Joe Jigwin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. Check us out online at allamericangold.com.
Howdy, folks. Have you ever thought about having your own backyard chickens? Now you have a source for certified organic, no GMO, no soy chicken feed. HappyHens.biz can even deliver, or you can pick up. Call me, Tim, at 303-829-5948, or go to HappyHens.biz for pricing and ingredients. At HappyHens.biz, we love HappyHens.biz, or call us at 303-829-5948.
Piccolo's restaurant in Denver reminds us that over 750,000 children were reported missing last year. Over 58,000 of these were abducted by non-family members. Keep an eye out for youngsters at play. If you see anything suspicious, contact the authorities immediately. This message from Piccolo's restaurant in Denver is not only the best Italian in the
All right, guys, you remember Katie Hopkins. We heard from her last week. Here she is on the Rebel Media with John Cardillo talking about, well, I'll let you listen. Yeah, my friends, check out Rebel Media. Check for Katie Hopkins. She does fantastic work, and she should be supported in every way. Item from the American Mirror. If Democrats win back the House in 2018, Maxine Waters is promising financial reparations for black Americans. During an appearance in Selma, Alabama on Saturday, Waters appeared alongside CNN commentator Angela Rye. Waters took her time to, what else, attack President Trump, criticizing him for his alleged connections to Russia. Unquote. My friends, reparations are not only a stupid idea, they're an insulting idea. No one is alive now who was a slave. No one is alive now who owned slaves. What reparations do is they say, we, meaning black Americans, want to continue getting handouts. Give us free stuff, give us money, because it's the only way we're ever going to get ahead in this world, because we're not as good as other people. Well, I think that's hogwash. There are many commentators, many of them black, who have said that approach to government has sapped the strength and the willpower and the motivation of the black community. Conservatives are all about people standing on their own 2 feet, making their way in the world, pursuing life, liberty, and happiness. And that's the American way. Any other way? That's the way to the exit. Take it someplace else. All right, when we come back, we're going to have about 4 minutes left. We'll cover some news. For example, violence at cemeteries. You heard about this one? Violence at cemeteries. Where else? Your favorite cemetery and mine, Chicago, Illinois. We'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Phillips, founder of the Green Earth.
How many times have you gone into a health food store and are confused as to the many different brands and prices of the same herbal supplements? You want to buy the cheapest, but you're afraid that quality is less, so you buy the most expensive. Truth is, the cheapest may be better. Green Herb herbal supplements are all manufactured in our Wheat Ridge, Colorado plant at 4565 Kipling Street using the highest quality herb that we source from all over the world. Our 150 different herbal supplements are the most potent and safest in America. Our guarantee is your money back, no time limit, just return the bottle empty or full, no questions asked. So when you come to our new location, look for our new name, New Genesis Health, or call us at 888-765-HERB. That's 888-765-4372.
TLR Associates of Boulder wants you to remember your life began at conception, and so does the life of every yet-to-be-born person. Baby and mother both lose, but 1 in 3 women go against their instincts and choose abortion. Former abortion doctor Nathanson said people do not understand that there are thousands of serious physical complications from abortion every year in this country. Post-abortion crises include severe guilt, depression, stress, anxiety disorders, sleep disturbance, suicide, violent behavior, sterility, increased risk of miscarriage and delivery complications at premature birth. International Journal of Epidemiology reported abortion increases breast cancer risk by 9%. Every helpless baby has the right to life, too. This life-giving message is brought to you by TLR Associates of Boulder, providing a job well done for your home or business with design, stucco, stone, and brick. Call TLR Associates of Boulder, 303-921-3310. TLR Medallion branded stucco protection serves the Boulder and northern Colorado area. Check.
Item from CBS. Violence at cemeteries and during funeral processions in Cook County is increasing. A hillside police chase is just one example of some of the violence. Chief Joe Lukaszek says 3 guns were recovered from a stolen SUV which had just left the cemetery. There's no respect for the dead anymore, he said. Cemeteries and hillside are the final resting place for many gang members killed in Chicago. Funeral processions from the city often end up on the expressways, which lead to dangerous situations. People literally are jumping on other sides of the road, driving next to each other, weaving in and out of traffic, guns being waved out of cars. There have been shots fired from vehicles as well, Sheriff Tom Dart said, unquote. So, my friends, if you go to Chicago, chances are you'll be killed, and even then, you won't be safe. Item from Fox News. Indonesia publicly caned 2 Christians in a rare case of non-Muslims punished under Sharia law. The 2 Indonesian Christians, Dalan Silatangga, 61, and Jia Nyakwa, 45, were whipped 6 and 7 times respectively, by a masked man wearing a robe as a crowd of 300 ridiculed and took pictures of them outside a mosque in the provincial capital Banda Aceh. The strict Islamic law punishment against the Christian man and woman comes as the predominantly Muslim country shifts to a more radical, politicized version of Islam, Reuters reported. The pair, among 5 people punished, was accused of gambling. Police said they were playing a game at a children's entertainment complex that lets users exchange coins for prizes or vouchers, including cash. They were beaten with a rattan stick, while another man involved with them got 19 lashes. Another couple was whipped 24 times for showing affection in public. Item from Fox News. Embattled former U.S. Representative Jesse Jackson Jr. is asking a judge to allow the sale of the $2 million home where his estranged wife lives, saying he can no longer afford to support her lifestyle. Recent court filings amid their divorce claim Jesse Jackson Jr. is forking out $5,100 a month in alimony, school fees, and voluntary payments to his children, while Sandra Jackson refuses to pay the mortgage. She opposes the sale of the property, according to court filings. Jackson Jr., who served time in prison for misusing campaign funds, was said last year to be $1.8 million in debt, with legal costs over their divorce only adding to the burden. He draws $125,000 in taxpayer-funded annual workers' compensation and disability payments and lives in Chicago, the Chicago Tribune reported. Unquote. My friends, you're asking why he gets $125,000 a year in taxpayer-funded workers' compensation? I don't have the first clue. Item from Associated Press. Several NBA teams have played what is known as the Negro National Anthem at games during Black History Month, thanks in part to the urging of a retired Howard University professor. Eugene Williams, a 76-year-old retiree in Clinton, Maryland, has made it his goal to get professional and collegiate teams to play Lift Every Voice and Sing during February. He's been calling and writing teams for the past 6 months. Unquote. Item from Campus Reform. A group of students at the University of Texas, San Antonio, plans to start publishing a No Whites Allowed magazine. Unquote. My friends, it's utter stupidity, but we're living in an age of utter stupidity where people bellicosely defend the stupid things they say and do, and they wrap themselves in a mantle of supposed righteous indignation. We've lived through the Bronze Age and other ages. Maybe this will be the stupidity age. I'll see you tomorrow, my friends. Hasta luego.